now I am over here, and sorry guys, I was having tech difficulties. Can you believe that? No way, right? No tech difficulties. So thank you so much for patiently waiting here. My name is Bertha Delgadillo, and I am a high school Spanish teacher here in Savannah, Georgia. And I am so glad that you're here tonight. If you are brand new to this community, I want to extend you a warm welcome. We in this community try to meet once a week to discuss many topics that are of interest for world language educators. We have talked about everything, just about, and I'm so excited for what the month of September is going to be bringing to us. I have an amazing lineup of people who are volunteering their time to be here. So because this is a free community, everyone that comes and delivers or comes to spend time with you guys, they do so voluntarily. So I am so grateful because so many people are just, yes, I will be there. Yes, I want to go talk to your community. So I am so glad that I am part of this incredible community. And yes, Rebecca, what are those, right? Tech difficulties. So I've been on tech all day. I didn't have any issues until just recently. But I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here tonight. I am going to talk to you. And pardon my mess in the background. Normally it's not this messy, but it is today. So, teacher life, week number 3 over here and counting. So here we go. I'm going to talk to you about tech tools, my favorite tech tools. So I know we have different challenges in our classrooms right now. And for different people, they look very different. So for me, for example, my challenge is not so much the tech, to be honest. And my challenge is not so much what am I going to be teaching. Do I have challenges in the classroom right now? I'm 100% virtual. Absolutely, I do. And I can share some more of that with you as I go into my presentation. So I don't want you to think, oh, I have this perfect life. One of my challenges actually doesn't have to do with teaching, but it does have to do with being there for my own child. My son is 14 years old and he has an IEP and he does pretty well, but he needs that extra support from me more than anything else. So I have to teach and I have to make sure he is in his class, he is taking notes, and I just have to be on top of him, and that is so difficult for me. So that is one of my challenges that plays into my teaching throughout the day. And the other challenge I will share with you as we go into our presentation tonight. So once again, I'm so glad that you're here, and we're just going to make the most out of your time with me today. And I'm going to share with you several tech tools that hopefully you might already know some of these, you may not, or maybe you do not know or are still looking for ways to implement so many wonderful things. Now, so I'm going to go through some of those, and I hope that they help you stay sane throughout this season, because I selected these tools, particularly because they have helped me so much in these 3 weeks that I've been teaching 100% virtual. However, these tools can be used even back in the classroom. And I intend to use them once I'm back in the classroom, perhaps not to the degree that I'm using them right now, but certainly will ease my load in so many ways. So here we go. All right, so we are talking about tech with purpose tonight. Tech with purpose. So what exactly does that mean? Well, that means that before I use any tech tool, before I use anything that is introduced to me, doesn't matter if it's by one of my incredible super teacher friends, doesn't matter if it's somebody I absolutely look up to, I ask myself the following questions. And I want to invite you to ask yourself the following questions. Anytime you go to a conference, anytime you go anywhere where people are telling you about this amazing tech tools that you can use in the classroom that are going to be incredible for you and your students, ask yourself the following questions before you make a decision, before you make a financial investment, before you make a time investment. Because right now we know time is precious, right? So the first thing I ask myself is, will it benefit my students? If so, will it benefit their language acquisition? Will it enhance the way that I am already doing something? Will it benefit me as a teacher? Maybe it will benefit me because it will cut down my grading time. I'm all up for that. Sign me up. Is it easy to learn? Is it easy to learn for me as a teacher? Does that mean I have to be sitting down in a 1-hour webinar to learn about it? Because let's be honest, not all of us have 1 hour to devote to a tech tool. So I like those tech tools that I can just pick up and go, or learn as I do trial and error myself. Is it easy to learn for me? Because if it is easy to learn for me, it's going to be easy to learn for my students, more than likely. And normally that is the case. And trust me, I have used so many tech tools. Although I don't consider myself a techie, technology does come pretty easily to me. So for me, it is so important that what I bring to my students is something that is easy for them to use and that is easy for me to use as well. I don't want to overwhelm them just because, you know, it's the cutest thing I've seen and it's what everybody's talking about. Is it easy for them? Is it going to bring a benefit to their acquisition process? Is it going to benefit me as a teacher? Can I adapt current activities in a simple manner to this new tech tool that I am being sold? If the answer is yes, then I am all in. Sign me up, sign me up. Why do I want to use it? Okay, so maybe you don't have a check mark in this 4 questions or this 4 questions. So if you don't have a check mark on any of these 4 questions before you get to number 5 and you're still thinking about this tech tool, you want to ask yourself, what is my why? And I want to tell you a secret tonight. I'm going to tell you several secrets tonight. So hang in there with me, my friend. So I want to tell you a secret, and I want to say that I have not created a Bitmoji classroom, okay? And if you have, you are a rock star, my friend. But I have not created a Bitmoji classroom. I do not care to create a Bitmoji classroom. I haven't done anything with Bitmojis in my classroom other than use them to as visual aids and to use them, you know, to personalize my slides with my students. Other than that, I haven't like really created a scene or any of that, and I'm not against it. And if you're doing it, that's wonderful. I totally love, and I wish I had the drive to spend all that time in doing a Bitmoji classroom. But you know, that's just not something that I have decided to do, and I don't see myself doing one anytime soon. So that's my why, though. That is my why, because when I asked myself these questions, when Bitmoji classroom came to be, I just did not, you know, for me, my reasons were not strong enough. However, that doesn't mean that for you and your learning management system, a Bitmoji classroom is not going to work. And you have to also take that into account. The type of learning management system that you are using, how well does it integrate with this new tech tools you are trying to learn or you're trying to bring into your classroom? So some learning management tools will definitely integrate with Google Slides and Bitmoji, and they will definitely help your students find everything in one place. And I know most teachers are using Bitmoji classrooms to keep everything in one place for the students and whatnot. And like I said, I'm not bashing Bitmoji classrooms in any way. I'm just saying that hasn't been my preference. And it is just an example of something that I went through this checklist and I said, no, Bitmoji classrooms is not something I want to do a time investment on. So that was my secret. I haven't done Bitmoji classrooms, and I'm not going to do a Bitmoji classroom anytime soon. Am I going to change my mind? Maybe later on. I don't know if I feel like I have more time in my hands, but I really doubt it. Okay, so we have door number one, tech tool number 1. Okay, so we have heard a lot about social emotional learning lately. I know that in my school, we started a task force for social emotional learning. And one of the easiest ways to implement this is by making sure we understand how our students are feeling, checking in with them before we teach them anything. And the reason why we want to do that is because our students have been affected in some way or another by COVID. Some of them have more than others, some of them haven't. But either way, we want to check in your students before we deliver any content at the beginning of the year. And I do this daily. I do daily social emotional learning checks. So, and I've been sharing some of those with you here in the community. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can scroll and you can find some of those that I have shared with you guys. But what I want to say to you is that you can use a tool that I like to use that is called Mentimeter. Okay, so Mentimeter, you probably heard about it. I first learned about it like maybe over a year ago. I want to say maybe close to 2 years ago from Meredith White, Queen. And you know, I love Mentimeter because it's free. It does have limitations when it's free, okay, but you can use it free. It's easy for teachers and students, and it's versatile, meaning that you can ask a variety of questions and do a variety of activities with it. And it's an excellent tool to draw input from students, and it gives a voice to everybody. And it doesn't have the name attached, so the students can participate. So in the screen right now, you are looking at, you're looking at my social emotional learning check on the left side right here. And I asked the students, hey, how are you today? And then they had to go to menti.com and use the code 3967564. And then they had to tell me on a scale of 1 through 5, how are they doing? And if they are above a 3, that means my class is ready to learn. And if they aren't, what I can do is I can just make a blanket statement. And I said, hey, you know, if that's you on a 2 or that's you on a 1, if you want to talk to me or after class, or you want to send me a message, or you can send me a private message in the chat and let me know what's going on if you want, or if not, you know, but at least I kind of know what's going on, if my class is, you know, ready to bloom, right? So definitely it's a check that I like to do at the beginning of class. I've done many of this with Mentimeter and also with other tools, but it's a pretty good check for understanding. The other thing that I've used is I ask questions at the end of the class. I might ask my students, okay, how long did you understand me 100% of the time? And then they had to, you know, scroll to like if they understand me 100% of the time, the class today was easy, or if they need help to understand. And that kind of lets me know how my class is interacting with the content, and you know, if they need help and things of that nature. I have to ask you guys, does my screen look blurry? Because I'm looking at my phone right now and I look pretty blurry from my phone. So I am afraid that I might look blurry to you. And if that is the case, I have no idea why, and I apologize. So Mentimeter is an excellent tool that you can use very easily. And as a matter of fact, we are going to try to use it right now. We're going to try to use it right now. So let me go to my other screen, make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Bear with me here, just like I tell my students. Okay, I'm going to share this Mentimeter one if I can find it. There we go. And if you could go to Menti, www.menti.com, and use the code 653811 and use one word to describe your vibe today. What's your vibe today? What is your vibe? I just want to know. So we're going to go to menti.com on our phones and use the code 653811 and let me know what is your vibe. So my vibe today, I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of like, it's a good day. It's a good day. I've done a lot, but I don't know. We have stress, tranquila. Okay, we can do it in any language. So thank you so much for those of you who have given me some input to work with. Tired? I know that's right. Well, I am so glad that it's not looking terrible for you guys, that it's not blurry. And my phone, it looks blurry for whatever reason. Confused, panicked. Ooh, strong words. So you can kind of get a feel of what your class is feeling with this activity. And the best part of it is that they can do it in the target language. What about Spanish 1? They're brand new. Well, you can give them a little handout with words, scaffold, right? You can give them a little handout with words if you're doing adjectives and emotions, and they can use those emotions to describe their feelings. They're going to be able to connect the emotion to what they're actually feeling. So they're probably going to make a connection with that word in a meaningful way. So this is one way that you can do checks with your students, like I said. And the other one that I had shown you, let me go back to this other screen. The other one that I had shown you was where I asked them questions at the end of the day. I asked them questions about how much they understood while they were in class with me, if they thought the class was easy or not. I want them to think that my class is easy. If they think my class is easy, I am doing my job. I also want to challenge them. But, language acquisition should be easy for a student, and we should just give them the I+1, the input +1. So definitely want them to be able to understand. And if they need help, well, then I kind of know how many of my students need help. So Mentimeter is definitely an amazing tool that you can use. Also, with the word cloud, you can have you can create a story with the word cloud. You can also have the students, you can ask questions, and you can have the students respond in sentences, and you can have them sign their name if you are in a class, so you know who to give credit to. And then you can project all their answers in real time. So there are tons of things that you can do with Mentimeter. There's maybe about 7-8 types of questions, and it can download a report for you. The version I am currently using is the free version. However, it is very limited. I am okay with having a lot of limitations for the purposes that I use Mentimeter in my class. You might not be okay with that. However, I want you to know that this tool is there for you. So the second technology door, it's going to be the wheel of names. The wheel of names. Let me tell you why I like the wheel of names. I absolutely love the wheel of names because I don't know about you. This is the one thing that I'm having a challenge with. I decided that because of many things I've read over the summer, and because of many people that I have heard their concerns, and I have heard their recommendations, to not force my students to have their cameras on. I am not forcing my students to have their cameras on. However, I want to make sure that they are paying attention. I do have about half of my students, in some classes less, who have the camera on. And for the most part, maybe like 9 times out of 10, when I am cold calling them throughout the lesson, and I do this a lot, they respond. Maybe once, they don't respond. But most of the time, if I do 10 calls during a class, one student maybe will not respond. And so what happens when that student doesn't respond? Text home, call home, tell the parent that that student did not respond. And that way that parent can have that conversation, and that student more than likely will respond tomorrow. But, we must be proactive about it. So I think if you are in the same boat as I am, where you cannot demand for your students to have their cameras on, you can use Wheel of Names to call on them. And, just so that you don't end up calling on the same students all the time. You can have their names, and that way you don't call on the same students all the time. And they don't know when they're going to be called upon. They know that they can be called on more than once. So they have to stay awake. They have to stay with you. They have to be ready to answer the questions. And, it's a great element when you spin it. And you can save the wheel. So you can save this one. This one is for my first period. You can save it for as many classes as you have with the names, so that every day is ready to go for you. My friend, Claudia Elliott, she uses the Wheel of Names for questions. She poses questions very simple questions that students can answer, to have like a small chat at any point. And, she will post questions, and then she will call on students with those questions. And I love the wheel of names because it is very easy to set up. There is another one called Wheel Decide. I didn't like Wheel Decide as much. I actually like Wheel of Names a lot better. I think it's easier and friendlier for the user. If you disagree with me, you can please type that on the comments. Maybe there's something I don't know about it, but I just prefer Wheel of Names much better. And it really helps bring that element of, oh my God, who's going to be called on? And if you call, make sure that if you don't have your cameras on, I would suggest, call on the students after you have learned their names and you have learned how to pronounce them, the best way possible. You start calling on your students very quickly so that they know that you are checking in with them every day as much as possible. And that way they're gonna make sure that they're paying attention, and they're gonna make sure that they're ready to answer. So this is the second tech tool I want to recommend that has simplified my life, that helps me make connections with different students every day. And I don't have to think about who I'm going to call on. I just have to spin the wheel and, call on a student, and it's all good. So door number three. Are you ready? Are you ready for door number 3? This is the third tech tool that I want to share with you tonight. It is one that I absolutely learned to love. I don't know about you, but when I was in my classroom back, before COVID times, I learned, well, I don't want to say I learned, but I got really, really, really skilled at minimizing my grading and doing more checks for understanding with dry erase boards. I mean, dry erase boards were a game changer in my classroom, because once upon a time, I was collecting all these papers where I was doing checks for understanding with true or false questions, where I was doing checks for understanding with, drawing and things of that nature that really did not need to be graded. But I still needed to make sure that the students took care of them and actually did the assignment, right? So I used dry erase boards while I was back in my classroom, and I was so happy when Reina Lopez, she shared with me and my friend Claudia this website, and she said, oh, check this out. So we went and we checked it out. And basically it's a website that's called whiteboard.fi. And whiteboard.fi, I love it because it's free for teachers. It is easy to use for teachers and students. It is versatile. And I keep saying the same things because for me to actually invest my time on a tech tool, it needs to have, these components. I have to be able to use it for several things. It needs to be easy for my students and me to learn. And, it needs to be free if at all possible. It's an excellent tool to check for understanding and to draw input. And students can draw into this, and they can add images and text and draw. I mean, they can write. So I actually had one student, not in this class. When we did this activity, I actually had one student who typed his response because he told me, he used the word hate. He said, I hate drawing. So definitely, I just needed to check that he was understanding what I was saying. And he actually translated the sentence instead of drawing the images, and that was okay with me because the student still showed me his comprehension. So I absolutely love it. It is so easy to use, and I'm gonna show you just how easy it is right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how easy it is. Have you used Whiteboard FI? Can you tell me in the comments if you have used Whiteboard FI? I'm just kind of curious. I'm looking at the messages right now. I am gonna get me, guys. I am gonna get me. I got you. I am gonna get me a separate screen this week because I need to have 2 screens now. So that way I can actually look at everybody's conversation while I am presenting, because right now I am not able to do that, but it's okay. We work with what we have. So no, you guys haven't used this. Okay, so I am going to show you guys how to use this. So let me go and make sure I'm sharing the right screen. Give me 1 second. So basically, you will just go to the page whiteboard.fi, and you literally don't have to create an account. I mean, don't you just love that from the get-go? The teachers don't have to create an account. The students do not have to create an account. That is just like, wow, you know, that's kind of like what I want, what I like, because you can get to the point of having so many accounts that it's overwhelming, and we're trying to avoid that. So basically, I am going to say Facebook Live transformation through acquisition-driven instruction. Well, I'll just put 80, transformation 80. So you can enable a waiting room lobby, which I'm not going to do right now. I don't need to do that. You can enable image upload, so the students can, and instead of drawing, they can upload images if they want to. You can force simple mode for students so that on low-end devices or connections with limited bandwidth, which is the reality for many of our students, the advanced Canvas editor might feel slow. So if we force a simple mode, all students will be forced to use a less advanced editor. So that makes it like fair for everybody. And the students can actually, the ones we have limited bandwidth can actually still participate in here. And enable slow mode for students. So I don't understand exactly what the enable slow mode for students means. I'm not going to click on that, but we're going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so let's say I have just done a story with everybody. I have just done a story with everybody in this class. That means you guys. And I am going to ask you to, we're going to check your understanding of this story. So the question is, okay, tell me, or, you know, I will just do a description like I did in the class, okay? So I said, okay, there's a girl and she, and it is very hot in her city. There's 95-degree weather and she has a bottle of water and she's drinking water. And then, you know, you guys have to draw that. But so I could be saying that in the target language, and then the students can draw what I'm saying just to make sure that they understood that. And then what I'm going to do for you guys today, we're not going to draw that. We're actually going to draw. I want you to play with it for a second. So if you could please draw the, oh, okay, yes, I got one. Draw the best tool you have right now that helps you teach. So that could be a standing desk, that could be a green screen, that could be, I don't know, whatever. If you're back in the classroom, what is the one thing right now that you can't live without or that you're hanging on for your life? That could be, you know, essential oils. If you are into that and, you know, you like to come home and just read those essential oils. So draw in the whiteboard for me the one thing that you really cannot live without right now, that is essential for your teaching or to help you keep your sanity, if that makes sense. So you are going to go to whiteboard. I put the link in the chat box so you can easily access it, which is what I do with my students. And I want to see if it's going to be working for everybody. So I'm going to give it a minute. I'm just waiting on people to draw on the whiteboard their one item that they absolutely cannot live without. And if you don't mind, go ahead. If you are like me and you can't draw, because I am not an artist, if you don't mind, can you put the name of the item once you draw it in there? Because that way, you know, I know for sure what is it. And I'm telling you, I cannot draw. So don't feel bad if you feel like you lack artistic skills too, because, you know, God gave us different gifts. So I am loving this. So I am thinking that, oh, rosé. No, it's rose. It's not rosé, the wine. See where my mind is at? Okay, so rose, I'm assuming, cannot live without water. Okay. And Marcia cannot live without her pet. Okay. Oh my God, Joha, cafe. Okay, Irene cannot leave without her 2 screens, and Rose, I wasn't too off. Rose cannot leave without beers. So candy for Diana. Compassion from Maribel. Yes, absolutely. I love that. And what else we have? Ronera, that is a document camera. I am assuming, Ronera, but I might be wrong. And we have coffee and Carolina. Carolina, can you explain to me, Carolina? So I'm trying to figure out what is Carolina's representing. Is that the green screen maybe? So you guys see how you can get so creative with this very quickly. I did not have to create an account. You did not have to create an account. And therefore, you know, we're good to go. We're good to go. Now, I am going to tell you, when I did this activity yesterday, or no, the day before yesterday, with 3 different classes. And I had one student in one class who still had issues. So what I asked her to do, I said, okay, sweetie, you know, and a piece of paper, because we did 4 pictures. I described four scenes for my students, so they did four pictures. And I told her to like fold the paper in 4 and to draw on each one, and then take a picture and, you know, email it to me. So if the technology fails for 1 or 2 students, then they can still participate, and you can make sure they participate, even though you're not going to give them a grade for this. But you can say, hey, you know, just draw it and send me a picture of your drawing. And you know, it's all good. So yes, I am loving it. I am loving it. You guys are incredible. Okay, so, oh, hi, Des for the computer. Hi, Flex Teaching. Yes, Carolina. Amazing. I absolutely cannot live without my desk. My desk that I can rise so that I can teach while standing up. So I absolutely, totally get that. So you guys can see the power of this. Can you remove the inappropriate stuff? Okay, that is a great point. You can actually click in here. I'm hoping that you can see. No, I don't think you can see it, or maybe you can see it. It's kind of delayed on my phone. Oh yes, you can see it. So I can go to actions. I can save it. I can erase it. I can kick the student. So you can do it very quickly. You can remove it. All you have to do is click and then do your action. However, I mean, I understand everybody's going to have different scenarios in the classroom. Personally, I don't have to worry about that in my school. But I understand. I used to work at a school where that was a concern, and I could not do, you know, Padlet because, you know, God forbid they said something or posted something inappropriate. So I understand your concern as far as that goes. But remember, you want to ask them to use their name when they log in, and if they're using their name and last name, and you tell them if your name and last name is not there, then you're not getting credit for the assignment. Even if you're not going to give them credit, they don't know what you're going to end up giving them credit or not for. Okay, so absolutely, it's definitely worth, you know, playing with and using it in the classroom to aid, to check for understanding. And the students can also create type, so they can actually type a couple sentences for you, and you can read them, and you know, you can also do that with the students as well. So a lot of options with this really cool, quick tool that you can use with the students. So let me go back to my presentation. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm going to go back to the tools. And before I do that, I'm going to check some questions, because I can, like I said, I'm not on 2 screens right now, so I can check all the questions. Okay, so what comments do I have? What does kick the student do? I think kick the student actually kicks the student out of your session. So it means that they're no longer in the session, so they can't do anything else. Can you please show us how to use show the access code and give it to the students? Yes, Maribel. Thank you, Maribel. Just share the link. So like I said, when you first go into whiteboard.fi, You just go in there and it will project the link for them so they can type the link. So like I said, because I am 100% virtual, what I do is I go to whiteboard.fi, and then it will, I'll go ahead and open the drawing room. And as soon as I open that drawing room, it's going to be on the screen, the link that they have to use. Because it takes a couple of minutes, it takes students a couple of minutes to log in to that link. Because it takes a couple of minutes, what I also do is I go to the chat, because I use Zoom when I'm meeting with my students. If you use Teams or whatever else you use, you can go to the chat while you have this projected and actually type. You're much faster at typing big codes than the students are. So go ahead and type the code for them in the chat box so that they can just have easy access to the drawing room. Okay? So no, it's not the link, Mariuxi, it's not the link that we use here. You have to go to whiteboard.fi and you have to open the room, and it will give you a brand new link. So it's not the same link as I use with you. It will give you, every time you do this activity, it will give you a brand new link. So on to the next part. The other, I am sharing, and I just want to make sure I'm sharing it. The other door that I have for you, door number 4. So what do we have behind door number 4? It's going to be an easy tool. That's going to be a tool that's going to be free, even if it has limitations. It's going to be a tool that I love and that it's going to help me do something. And it's going to be a tool that's going to help my students in some way, shape, or form. So under door number 4, I have a tool called Padlet. And I know that you guys have probably used and heard about Padlet. I love using Padlet because when I want to have my students collaborate a little bit more and comment on each other's entries, I can use Padlet. They can also upload little voice recordings in Padlet. In Padlet, do little voice recordings in there as well. It is so easy to use by teacher and student. And the students can comment on each other's work. So there's the collaboration aspect that I was talking about. They can react to each other's work. And it is also versatile. Like I said, you guys know my criteria. By now, you know my criteria. How I choose my tech. That's why I say I have to choose my tech like I choose my friends. Very wisely. Very, very wisely. Because we really don't have time to spend on all these other things. We don't have to. If you have things that work for you and you can find a tech tool that supports those things that you already do in the classroom that works for you, that is the best thing you can do. Merge those two. So if you do a lot of collaboration in the classroom and you like for the students to work with each other often, Padlet is a great way to promote that. And Padlet is a great way to have visuals. So this is actually a screenshot of my friend Claudia Elliott and I taught this summer a language lab for pre-AP students in the conference in the cloud. And this was an assignment we gave to the students. We told them to go visit a graffiti artist, and we gave them a link where they had to go find this graffiti artist. And they had to select one and check out their art and then comment on their art. And as you can see, some students wrote a tiny little paragraph. Other students wrote more than others because they are at different levels of proficiency. And we want to make sure, we honor the place where they're at and we lead them to grow to the next level. So, but the task is the same for everybody. They have to tell us, why they like the mural, and and tell us a little bit about it. So it was like a little descriptive writing. And so they did this through Padlet. So the assignment is literally right here. Choose one graffitero from the link located in Padlet. Then find one graffiti of the artist, open a comment in Padlet, post your favorite graffiti. In your post, you need to include the description of the graffiti as well as your opinion about it. So they ended up doing this and they came up with like some beautiful stuff. So this is pure collaboration. I'm going to show you another one that I did for a professional learning session I facilitated at my school. So I actually use Padlet for that as well. So sometimes when I go do professional learning sessions for schools, I do use Padlet a lot to, collaborate and to listen to other people's opinion, or to kind of get to know my audience. So this is another one I use that said, we cannot start the school year with content. Let's reflect. Please answer one or more of the following questions. And I gave my participants the options to be anonymous or to show their name, because you can do that. So I had 3 columns that I created. And if I want to create another column, I just have to go to this little X and it will add another column. And I could ask them another question. How do you feel about these findings? And then they can start answering. And the way they're going to start answering is because I'm going to share the link so that the students can come and join me and answer. So they don't need an account. You do need to create an account with Padlet. Padlet is free, but they do have limitations with the free option. I think they only allow you so many Padlets before you have to delete them and create some new ones. So if you're gonna be using Padlet a lot, you wanna get the paid version. But if you're just gonna use it like me, every so often, and you don't wanna save all the stuff, then a free version would work for you. So in this case, we had a pretty good discussion in the PD session. We talked about how it affected the classroom, how has it affected the students, and how it affected me personally, or each one of the participants. So I got to read through this and discuss those with the participants, and we were able to personalize the content and have some conversation because of the collaboration that happened. So definitely worth looking at. And Padlet is so easy to use. I'm going to show you just how easy. Let me go to Padlet, and you can go to make a Padlet, and you can choose the type of Padlet that you want to do. So if you just want to do, you can do like a map Padlet, which is very, very cool. It definitely has a lot of potential for world languages. You can do a timeline Padlet if you want. They can, do a little project with a timeline together, a collaborative project. Or you can just do just like a regular wall. It already designs it for you. If you don't like that design, you can go change it. So I'm just going to do a solid color. And I'm going to be boring today and do a solid color. Or you can do a picture if you want. So let me do a notebook picture. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the title. So I can do all about me, okay? And then I write a description. So in here, write the instructions for the assignment. And then what I have to do, I can actually filter comments. Do I want the students to be able to comment on posts? Yes, I want them to comment back and forth. But if you don't want to, you don't have to allow them to do that. Do you want to approve the comments before they go up there? So again, if you're concerned about profanity and things like that, these 2 little buttons are for you. You cannot, it won't show the comment until you approve it if you press here. And then if you want to make sure that there's no profanity, it will filter profanity if you click in there. The students can put their names, display author name on each post, then yes, it will have their names. And so a lot of settings. And then what do? Start posting. You share the link with your students, copy to the clipboard, and then just go to the chat and share the link with the students. And then the students will be able to just press on this little plus sign, and it will create a little box for them. And the students can upload links. They can upload pictures. They can upload files, voice, videos. They can draw. I mean, there is so much stuff they can do. So in one Padlet, you can have content from all of your students. And it is amazing because it is collaborative. Okay, so I hope that if you haven't used Padlet, you think about it as one of your options, because it is an incredible tool. And I think I want to go to the chat because I know there's some interesting conversation happening in the chat. So I'm going to go right there in just a moment. what is going on in the chat? Okay, so Heidi says she loves Padlet. Heidi, I am honored you are here. You are like tech queen also. And I'm just like honored that you're here because you already know all of this. So can you say Padlet somewhere else? Is what Hakeem asked. And Heidi is saying, yes, you can download and save your boards. So thank you so much, Heidi. I actually did not know that. So thank you for being here because I did not know what I do when I need to keep my boards. What I do, I just take screenshots. And that's how I know which students participated and to what level. Okay. We have another Facebook user, it's Lily. She said, I started using always the same Padlet for warm-ups. I save the results in PDF at the end of the day and clean it to use the same with the next topic. That's smart. That's really, really smart to do. Okay. So great idea. It's great. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to open another window because I accidentally, of course, you know, this happens in the classroom every day. Guess what I did? I clicked out of my presentation and I closed it. And yeah, now I had to go find it and bring it back up. Darn it. So, but you know, this is what I do. This is how I react with my students when things happen. And you know, they know that things are going to happen and not everything is going to go okay. And we just have to be comfortable with that. So I have it back up. So let's go back. We were talking about door number 4, and that was Padlet. Okay, so I have door number 5 for you, and I'm really excited to share this one because door number 1, number 5 is a tool that is going to save your grading. Anybody wants to save the grading time, and anybody wants to be able, while it's going to save you grading time while being able to assess your students speaking, writing, listening. I mean, you name it. Interpretive reading, any communication mode, you got it. So, and it will definitely minimize your grading. I'm not going to say that it's going to grade everything for you, but it's going to grade most things for you and you are going to love it. So this tool is called Go Formative. So I absolutely love Go Formative because it is incredible. It is incredible. It is super easy to use by teachers and students. I literally walk my students through how to use it in less than 10 minutes. And they figure it out. And I just kind of like, every time we're doing a new form of assessment, I do take a couple of minutes to tell them, to walk them through the assessment so that they know what to do. But other than that, it's so easy. It generates questions for different communication modes. It's a mean data machine. And the reason why I say that is because, when we are assessing, certain data does make a difference in the students or what we're going to do in the classrooms and what changes we're going to make as teachers to make sure we lead our students to success. And then, through data, we can see, who's getting it, who's not, how to group our students more strategically, etc. So, and administration loves data. So, if your administration loves data as much as mine, you want to use Go Formative. And options to collaborate with teachers across the country. So you can, if your friend is using Go Formative in another state, you can collaborate with your friend. So I know my friend Maribel was watching. So if I wanted to, link up with her on Go Formative, we could create assessments together. And that way we ease our loads as teachers during these times. And then it also gives you the opportunity for meaningful feedback and simplifies grading, which I already talked about. And I just want to thank my friend Maestra MCH, Lisa McCart, and my friend Claudia Elliott, of course, because they were the ones who introduced me to Go Formative this summer. And not this summer, on March, when COVID first started. And I learned about it with them. They actually have a course on how to use Go Formative in the World Language Classroom with a lot of examples of things you can do for the World Language Classroom. But it is so easy to use that, honestly, like you can go to get the course to get a lot of inspiration, but you can definitely learn Go Formative on your own. So it is amazing. And the types of questions you can do. So when you are asking the students a question, you can, record your voice, you can embed something, you can add an image, you can write text, you can add a video, you can add a whiteboard yourself to add content to the assessment. And then you can ask the students to respond in audio, in an essay form. They can match, they can do multiple choice, and multiple selections, select more than one square actually, short sentence, resequence, you name it, show your work. So you name it. There's a lot of ways the students can respond. And let's say you don't want to create a formative from scratch. The magic of Go Formative is that if you already have worksheets or task-based assessments on paper, we want to call it something else, which there's nothing wrong with worksheets as long as we are assessing, things that are going to be conducive to language acquisition. But if you have PDFs and worksheets that already work wonderfully for you, you can just click on upload your own content. It will all upload the worksheet, and all you have to do is click on where the students have to respond. So if it's a short answer, just click on the line and then just put the setting short answer, and it will make it a short answer question. It is super, super easy to use. And what I love about it is that it creates so much data. So this is one of the assignments I gave my students today. I gave my students today an assignment. They had not all completed it today, obviously. By the time I checked, it was not even their class time yet. So this is actually pretty good. So I obviously deleted the names over here, but right here, I know the grades for my students is already graded for me. These two little gray spots right here are the drawings that I have to go and I have to, grade those drawings. So I have to give them the points for the drawing. And then once I do that, all I have to do is like, oh, they got it right. Okay, that's a 5. So they get the 5 points. And then I click on the other one. And then I look at that drawing. Oh, yeah, that's correct. So they get the 5 points. So it shows me, which ones the students got right, which ones the students got wrong. I can see the score for each individual student. And then vertically, I can see the average response for this question. So I am already seeing that question 1 was problematic for some students. So I have to, check on that. What was so problematic about it? Maybe I need to go listen to it again. Maybe it was me, or maybe not. So you can see those little things in here. It shows you the percentages. It doesn't it can randomize questions so that it's not easy to cheat. If the students copy and paste, let's say you're asking to write a paragraph and they copy and paste from the internet, it would Go Formative will tell you this response contains copy and paste text. So that is one way that you can definitely minimize the whole cheating aspect of it. Again, my friend Claudia Elliott and I did a webinar on how to make sure that our students don't revert to using Google Translate. You can check that one out. It's somewhere in our community. But absolutely, this week I did 3 formatives. Yesterday I did 2 short ones and 1 today with Go Formative, and I only have to grade very little, very, very little, because most of the stuff is going to be self-graded. And my students, this formative specifically, it was all in interpretive listening. So I recorded about 17 little snippets with true or false questions, or, listen and describe, or, they had to match my description to 6 different pictures. So it is incredible. And I did it with the free Go Formative feature. Okay. So again, if you want to be able to ask a ton of questions and you want to do more, you can do the paid feature. I think Go Formative is $144 per year, but you don't have to buy that feature. You don't have to do the paid version. You can do the free version and still do a lot with the free version. So I highly suggest that you check into it, because it is a tool that is going to save your sanity, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So on the next door number 6, and our last door, I want to show you the last one, which is my personal favorite this year, absolute personal favorite this year that I am loving. And I want to thank Kathy Perry for introducing me to Book Creator this summer at Claudia's Growing with CI Facebook community. I love it. I am telling you, I cannot tell you enough wonderful things about Book Creator. It is free, it is easy to use, it has endless possibilities. So back in the classroom, I have folders for my students, for each student, where we keep our assessments and we can track our growth over the semester. Well, now that we're not in the classroom and we're 100% virtual, sure, I can make some boring folders with Google. Nothing against Google. I absolutely love Google, but I mean, Google folders really, they don't really excite the students. So I can make some folders with Google, or maybe, I want to, spice it up with some interactive notebooks. I can do that too, but you know what? I don't want to do interactive notebooks. That's another thing. I'm not against it. If you're doing it, wonderful. Like I said, just because it's not my preference doesn't mean I'm putting it down in any way. It's just not me and something I want to do. So I don't want to do that. But I absolutely can see so much potential on Book Creator. And you can also collaborate. The students can collaborate on one thing together, or you can also collaborate with other teachers. And Heidi is saying Book Creator is the best, and she loves it. And what I love about Book Creator, and what I love about all these other tools that I've shared with you tonight, is that they give every student a voice. And at the end of the day, we are world language teachers, and we want to teach our students how to communicate proficiently in the target language. So we want, and that starts with giving every student a voice and making things accessible to them. So I love Book Creator because it has insane accessibility options. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I did, and I'm going to do a quick sample. So talk about card talk. How many of you guys do card talk in the classroom? So basically, card talk at the beginning of the year, you give the students a piece of paper, and they can cut it, or they can just draw on one piece of paper, and you can say, okay, draw an image of something that you like. Or if you're like on a level 2, draw me 2 images, or write 2 sentences of something that you like. If you want to talk about their likes, and you want to get to know their students. Well, for me this year, the first week, I started on a Wednesday. My goal by Friday was make sure you know what every student looks like, and make sure you know how do you pronounce their names correctly. So, and make sure you get to know your students somehow. So what I did is I asked them to submit a video on Book Creator introducing themselves in Spanish. So just basically, and I said, if you cannot say anything else but just my name is blah, 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 that's all you want to say. Okay. If you can say a lot more than that, you can go crazy with your Spanish and just tell me everything you want, in the target language. So they created a video where they showed me their face, and they told me their name and last name, so that I could go back and I could double check that I am indeed pronouncing their name correctly. Or if I have some students with names that, were a little bit difficult to pronounce for me, so that helps me go back to that child and listen to the pronunciation of that name. And then the other thing is that I want to be able to see that child. So I was able to see her face in this picture. And then I was able to learn about her in these 3 other images. So in one page, they had to submit a picture or a video with a sound clip with their voice telling me their name and last name. I also asked them to tell me, anywhere from 2 to 4 things they like to do, so that I could get to know them. And then the other thing, I asked them to create a little part that they had 2 truths and 1 lie. Because what I'm going to do every day, I haven't started on this because right now I'm still doing special person interviews. But what I can do every day is I can open this book with the whole class, and I can say, oh, hoy hablamos de Gaby. Hoy hablamos de Gaby. Today we talked about Gaby. Okay, 2 verdades y una mentira de Gaby. So I'm going to guess, or as a class, we can guess which one is her truth and which one is her lie. And then we can have some conversation and natural conversation about that. And I can highlight one student every day, and I can get to know that student better. So and the whole class can get to know the student, even though we are virtual. So every single one of my students had to do this, every single one. And then here's another example of the same activity. This student did not have a video, however, she did have an audio, and she put her picture. And for me, it was like, you can have a video or you can have a picture and an audio, as long as I can see your face and I can hear you say your name. And then, she has what she likes to do, and then she has her 2 truths and a lie. And that was my idea for my, this, how can I do card talk this year? Well, Book Creator really helped me do card talk this year. And Book Creator is really going to help me get to know my students very quickly, learn how to pronounce their names, make sure I make face to name connection as a teacher, because that is absolutely important. And so with that being said, I am going to share with you very quickly. I know that we are almost past the hour, but I just kind of want to share this with you. I want to share with you some other things I've done with Book Creator. Okay, so I cannot show you my entire book. I cannot show you my entire book, but I can show you one book, because I asked the students and their parents if I could share with you. And I do have permission to share this with you, so I can share this particular one. So in Book Creator, I don't know, like with the free version, you can have, I don't remember how many books. I'm still using the free version right now. So we did this with the free version. So there is my book for first period, second period, third period, fourth period. And then another way I'm using Book Creator right now is by giving my heritage speakers assignments while I am teaching the rest of the class. I have a class, a Spanish 2 class, where I have heritage speakers, and I have a Spanish 3 class where I have heritage speakers. So while I'm teaching the class, every day or every week, I post assignments for my heritage speakers, and they come in here and they get the work done. So for example, I'm going to go to this book and show you what it looks like in the inside. So the first day, not the first day, but like when they first started using this, I asked them to tell me, how did they learn Spanish? Do they speak it all the time in class? How would they like to, speak Spanish better? And what would they like to do to better their Spanish in general? What would they want to do when they're older? Etc. And, this is the writing from my student. This is from another student who wrote a little bit less. But I can just with that paragraph alone, I can already see, how I can help them improve their writing. And not only that, most importantly, above all, I can get to know the students on a more personal level. In this particular one, I asked them about, my other Spanish 2 class was doing Bomba Estéreo, Soy Yo introductory unit. So I asked them to do their own research on the band, while with the class, I was actually, doing picture talks of the band. But at this, guys, I said, okay, go research the band, go research information on Google about Bomba Estéreo, tell me something about them. And then I want you to create audios where you're describing the pictures about them. So very easy stuff. And then in this one, they had to talk to me about the video. The day I did the movie talk with my other class, and I was really slow. My heritage speakers don't need to be listening to me talk super slow. So they had to, write their own summary of the video, and they could, create their own ending for the video and illustrate it on Book Creator. And then finally, I gave them the 2 articles. And this actually, the 2 articles came on Kara Jacobs' unit from Soyo. I gave them the 2 articles, and I told them to go write a summary, not a translation, about this article. And then I asked them to give me some feedback about questions like, what do they think the main idea in this article is? What is the evidence to let them think that? And who is this article designed for? Who's the audience? Share the most interesting fact about the article with me. Did you learn any new words? Tell me which ones. So here they wrote their summary, and all of this is happening while I am teaching my other students. Because I don't have a program just for heritage students. So we started talking more about identity in here, and they had to go read about it. And then my student had to, she told me some, answer the questions, and then this is my other student. So they each design their page, and they can, create the video. And I absolutely love Flipgrid. I'm still gonna use Flipgrid, but I really think that Book Creator is a lot easier to use as far as like adding videos and adding other aspects to it. So to wrap up our session today, I'm going to show you how easy it is to build a page in Book Creator. So I want to make sure I go to the plus sign. So in Book Creator, you have a plus sign and you have an inspector. So in the plus sign, I want to go and I want to make it a comic because that's the easiest way to work with Book Creator. So I can have as many panels as I want. Okay, and then I already have this panel. So once I go to the panel, I can add stuff. If I want to add a picture, I can just go to the shortcut. If I want to take a picture of me, I can go to the shortcut too. But let's say that I just want to add, I want to go over here and I want to add text. I can add different types of text. So I just click and then it's there. Now, that is just to add different types of elements. But you can actually type the text in there. And obviously, it's too big. So I want to make it smaller. So anything that's highlighted in blue, when you click inspect, you can make changes to. So I want to make it a lot smaller. Okay, and let's say I want to add a picture from Google. Okay. I don't know. We'll just add whatever picture right now, just for time's sake. And if I want to, I can add videos. So if you give your students a task, think about a task like how I did the card talk. And if I want to, they can add video. They can access the camera. And then, they can take a picture. And I can just use the picture. And I can make it smaller and put it in there. I can also create a video very quickly. So there are a lot of aspects to this. So you can even have Book Creator create subtitles for you. So it is very easy for the students to do this. This is kind of like what they do every day on Instagram and TikTok. They are just clicking on elements and making things happen with such creativity. So my students love Book Creator, and I love what I can do with it. And I'm thinking I'm going to be using Book Creator as their portfolio for this year. Since I don't want to do a Google folder, I don't want to do an interactive notebook. I want to use Book Creator to develop their portfolio. And before I leave, I want to show you, because right now it's not enough time for me to show you all the wonders about Book Creator, but I want to show you something. You can go to Book Creator and create an account, go to certification. I already have my level 1 certification of Book Creator. For you to learn how to use it, it's going to take less than 45 minutes, and you're going to learn how to use Book Creator, and you're going to see how you can add shapes, import media, use the camera, drawing with the pen tool, how to write text, how to record audio, how to have it read to you, because once the students create stories, the Book Creator can read for you in the language of your choice. And you can also record your voice, and you can also have it create subtitles while people are talking, or like create text while people are talking. I mean, it is incredible. And if you want to get ideas on how to implement Book Creator in your class, you can go to Discover, and you can go check out all of these amazing lessons that they have. So for example, let's see what's in there for languages, what people are doing with languages in Book Creator. So we have a lot of languages in here, and I don't see much Spanish in here. Wow, that's a first, right? Not much Spanish. So let's go look. Let me see. This one's French, but I wanted to see. So there's like so many options, but you can have them do a research on a country if you want to. You can have them do that. Like I just saw one. So you have here this, and then you can click on read to me. Let me make sure I am sharing my sound, guys, because I am so bad at sharing sound. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Share the audio. Yes, I wasn't sharing the audio, so I want to make sure I share the audio. So as you can see, this is a book that was created by a student. Okay, so they created this book, and it's published in a library so that people can use it, and so you can have the read to you.
Les petites reines de Noël.
Les petites reines de Noël.
Okay, and then you can have
Les petites reines de Noël.
Okay, and then you have the student right here.
C'est la veille de Noël. Oli vient tout juste de s'endormir quand.
Okay, so you can see there you have the other student telling a story. So they can illustrate and tell you the entire story. They can write the text of the story. I mean, there's just so much you can do. You can go in here and check out some of the projects people have done and get some inspiration from there. But it is amazing. It is incredible. I absolutely love it. There are a lot of webinars already. If you are into webinars, if you want to go see what the high school people are doing, you can go check out what people have done for high school, for other subjects, and still get a lot of ideas in here. So Book Creator definitely has so much to offer, and I hope that you guys try it out, because it's definitely worth the time. It answers the questions. It definitely answers the questions that I highlighted at the beginning of my presentation, where I told you guys at the beginning, when I started the presentation, I asked several questions. I'm not gonna use technology unless I go through these questions in my head. How is it going to benefit my students? Is it going to make things more accessible to all? Is it going to give all my students a voice? Are they still going to be able to get quality assessments? How is it going to benefit me? Is it going to cut down my grading time? Is it going to be easy to learn for me and my students? Can I adapt current activities that I already do in a simple manner to these new tech tools? And why do I want to use it? If you have good answers to this question, go try out these new tech tools. If you don't have good answers to justify these questions, you don't have to go try everything. Like I said, I'm not doing the Bitmoji classrooms at this moment, and I am not doing interactive notebooks at this moment. I'm not saying they're bad ideas, but they just don't check off enough questions for me, but doesn't mean that it doesn't work and it doesn't check off for you. So thank you guys so much. I'm going to be reading some comments before I check out, and I'm sorry I could not, check the chat box as much as I wanted to. Thank you so much for hanging in here. Dawn, hola. So she says she combined card talk and password high five special handshake. Found packages for pre-cut cardstock hands. Each finger representation of a certain like. Thumb number 2, personal description. Palm name. We'll be adding the information to their hands throughout the year. Trace one and added it to Google Slides presentation for remote students. You made it accessible yourself for the students who are doing remote. That's amazing. And use them to give each other high fives, special handshakes, so they're not touching each other. Clever, super clever, Dawn. Excellent idea. Then we have another comment. How much time do you spend teaching them how to use Book Creator, or do you ask them to learn them on their own? Great question. I spend maybe about 10 minutes. And I told them that if they could do TikTok or Instagram, they were able to do Book Creator, and I wasn't wrong. So I did a model for them. So I gave them the assignment. I read the assignment with them. When I gave them the assignment, I gave them And I also created my own assignment. So it took me like 5 minutes to create my assignment live with them watching me. And then I allow them to work independently on the screen. So it took about 10 minutes for me to teach them the basics of Book Creator. And they were able to do it. They did some amazing stuff. I mean, they're pros at it now, and they probably can teach me stuff on it. So does it create a folder for each student, and how do they keep their work to show growth? Okay, that is an excellent question. I'm going to have to upgrade to the paid version of Book Creator so I can have more books inside my library. You can have, right now I don't have the paid version. So what I did is I created one book for first period, one for third period, and one for fourth period, and one for my heritage speakers. So first period, I said, go pick a page and stay on that page. So everybody was in one book and they were at different pages. So they were working on the same book, but they were each on their own lane. It's the same concept as if they're working on a Google slide that is a collab Google slide. As long as they stay on their page, then they can work on their page, and everybody can get the assignment done. It is very easy to share. You just have to click on the book and share it, and you'll be able to share it with the students. What's another question I have in here? Ronetta saying, thank you so much for sharing how I'm using Book Creator with heritage speakers. This is the first year I struggle to make a class interesting for a heritage speaker. Some of my second year students are very low, some high, and then the heritage speaker. I have the same thing, Ronetta. I have the same thing. Because of COVID last year, we know we're going to have gaps in learning, and we're just going to have to make it work the best we can. And what I did with my heritage speakers, actually, they've been working independently and diligently for over a week now on assignments that I give them. They come to class, they have to check in with on class with me, and then I tell them, hey, today I have an assignment for you. And then I send them private messages, and I tell them, you can now leave the class or stay in the class while you're working on your assignment. And they normally stay in my class while they're working on their assignment, which I actually like that. But they have the option of leaving the class as long as the assignment is done. So I also talked to the student, and I talked to both of them, and I said, hey, what is your interest for the language? What do you want to do? How do you want me to help you get better in Spanish? And we talked about code switching. We talked about Spanglish, and embracing Spanglish as part of our super cool identity, but at the same time being able to code switch. So we had a discussion of that in the target language. So just a lot of things, getting to know your heritage speaker students if you're working with them one-on-one, and asking them what they want to get out of your class. It starts with having that conversation, and that way they don't feel like you're just piling work on them. They know that you want to make sure you help them and get better at their language, and we're honoring their language and their roots. So I know you're gonna do a great job, Ronetta. I mean, I know you're gonna do an amazing job. So thank you so much, Ronetta, for thinking about this heritage student. I'm so glad to hear that you are gonna be doing something with this student. So I think those are all the comments and all the questions. I will look back on them. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for understanding that last week I needed to take a week off. It was really stressful, but I'm back. I'm happy to be here and support you in any way that I can, share ideas with you guys. So make sure that if you have any questions, or if you are looking for anything, and we can help each other, just if I can't help, because sometimes I can't be in the Facebook group all day long, and sometimes I don't see the messages until the very end. If that is the case, then there are other people inside this community that are willing to support you and to answer the questions. And I'm loving seeing how people are supporting each other and sharing with each other and answering questions. And by the time I get back, the questions have been answered wonderfully. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week. I'm going to have a special friend from my district in here, and we're going to be keeping it real and having some very important conversations. I will give you more details later on in the week. I hope to see you then. You guys have a wonderful evening, and until next time, take much care.
The password.